but I am pretty goddamn convinced that everything Netanyahu's saying there is bullshit. And the fact that it's like, oh, the Jews are genetically the same Jews from the Bible. Like, I don't think anyone can actually demonstrate that. I don't think anyone can actually demonstrate that. I don't think anyone can actually demonstrate that. Let's play the Netanyahu video. Netanyahu talking about Jews defending something here with Dinesh D'Souza.
In a recent exchange between Tucker Carlson and Senator Ted Cruz, Tucker Carlson said, "Are you saying that the Jews in Israel under Netanyahu are the descendants of the ancient Israelites who are described in the Bible?"
Of course. There's no question about it. The Jews spread from this land to various parts of Europe, to the Middle East and elsewhere. But we never forgot this land. We said next year in Jerusalem, next year in Jerusalem. My great-grandfather came here in the 19th century. Most of the Palestinians who are alive today came after him. So that's what our history has been. On the one hand, regaining our ancient ancestral homeland, on the other, developing a state that becomes a juggernaut of technology and development. We're Silicon Valley in the Middle East, a democratic society in the face of enormous attacks of countries that want to annihilate us every day. Who is Tucker Carlson defending? These are people who chant death to America. They're after you. They want to destroy Western civilization. They want to destroy everything that America stands for. They say Israel is a small Satan. The big Satan is America. The only place where Christians are safe in the Middle East is in Israel. Not tolerated, welcomed. They participate in our society. We take care of the holy places, which are destroyed everywhere else. Churches blown up throughout the Middle East. So if Tucker Carlson is asking me that, then he has no idea, not of Jewish history, but of history. Who are these so-called defenders of MAGA defending? They're defending the worst enemies on the planet against America. They're not MAGA. The people who speak of MAGA, they love America, and they love America's values, and they don't identify with the worst enemies that America is facing today in the world. President Donald J. Trump, the greatest friend that Israel has ever had, he understands that we're fighting a common enemy. Iran wants to destroy you. We stand in their way. I'm very proud of the fact that Israel is the front line of this battle of civilization against the barbarism that threatens all free societies.
I don't know, man. It's just so wild, the levels of lies and propaganda.
Can I just comment? It looks like, I think he gets cold sores and he's got a Band-Aid in the middle. But
is that true?
It looks like it. I mean, you can pull back up. You can pull back it up.
Yeah, but that I did not notice.
I've noticed it looks like he's got a little Band-Aid in the middle, but it's almost like his Hitler stash grows in too thick and he has to keep waxing it. And so, like, it's not even with the rest of his, like, and his nose is so big, he almost gets like a Hitler stash shadow.
Yeah,
right
he does get
lip.
a little bit of that. That's true.
Yeah.
That's an issue. Not the best PR. Anything else, or that's just what you wanted?
No. I mean, there's a lot to take on there, but I couldn't not address the little Band-Aid Hitler stash.
Well, I'll maybe do the Jewish part last, but just the other thing. I mean, it's just so, again, like the dumb binary of like, who are these people standing with? You're standing with Hamas, or you're standing with the Ayatollah or something. And it's like, obviously, like there's a third option there, which is that like, I'm not standing with any of you. Like, it doesn't follow that if I don't just want to give billions of dollars to some country, therefore I'm standing with the enemies of that country. The idea that he goes, you know, they say we're the little Satan and you're the big Satan. We're what's standing in between them and you. So you cast yourself as like our protector. You're the one who will stand in between our enemy and us and defend us, except you have to do it with our money and weapons. Like, that's so adds a slightly different element to that. But I guess just, yeah, the first part of that whole thing, like, look, man, I mean, and again, I will, as I always think I do, like confess when I don't really know enough about a subject, but I don't know enough to like know this for sure. But I am pretty convinced that everything Netanyahu's saying there is bullshit. And the fact that it's like, oh, the Jews are genetically the same Jews from the Bible. Like, I don't think anyone can actually demonstrate that.
When I show you what I'm about to show you, your mind will be blown. You're going to be blindsided. Every single Israeli prime minister has a fake name. Did you know that? I was just talking about Ben Gurion. Do you know what his original name is? It's Gruen. Gruen. He changed it to make it sound more Jewish and sound more Middle Eastern. Do you know what Netanyahu's real name is? It's not Netanyahu, it's Milkovsky.
This story begins in October 1949, 1 year after Israel's formation. This is when Netanyahu was born, the second child of a historian. His paternal grandfather was a rabbi and a Zionist writer. His name was Nathan Milikowski. Later in life, he Hebraized his surname from Milikowski to Netanyahu, a name which means God has given.
This is Yair Netanyahu's DNA test that has been leaked. You can see right there, his Y DNA is RM198. Descendants of RM198 come from Poland, Russia, Germany, and other European countries. Does this look Semitic to you? Does this look Middle Eastern?
Maybe you will ask, who is Mr. Milikovisky?
I did ask, and you told me, but I didn't know before.
He is Benjamin Netanyahu. This is the real name.
Prime Minister or President of Israel.
The colonial settler state of Israel.
I swear to God, go and look it up. You'll find Milkovsky. That's his real name. These are, remember what Israelis are. Israelis are European Jews. They don't come from Palestine, but they want you to make you believe. They want to make believe and make you believe that they come from this area, that they are indigenous to the land, that they're so Jewish, right? Even though they have no connection. So they change their names.
And we do have DNA tests, which by the way are banned in Israel. You're not allowed to get DNA tests in Israel.
Ladies and gentlemen, my DNA. Now, I bet you thought it was going to be a lot crazier than that, right? Now, you might ask yourself, why is it illegal to obtain this in the state of Israel? Because it proves through your DNA that Jews around the world have no ancestral ties to the land of Israel. But according to Israeli law, the fact that I have Jewish blood gives me more right to somebody's home and land in the land of Palestine than somebody that has been there for hundreds of years. Doesn't make sense.
Who the hell are you anyway, right? I mean, anyway, I don't care where they came from. I don't care about religion. I don't care about any of the gobbledygook, right? But a bunch of Aryan-looking people that comes from Eastern Europe and pretends that God gave them the land 2,000, 3,000 years ago, right? And oh no, we're the real Jews.
Which is a kind of strange thing, because it kind of seems like if that's your whole claim, then wouldn't you be the ones who wanna demonstrate this? The truth is that Sephardic Jews, I know this much, that Sephardic Jews and Arabs have incredibly similar DNA, and that the European Ashkenazi Jews like me and Rob have distinct differences from them. And so I just don't think, again, I do not know enough to know this for sure, but I just don't think it's at all scientifically demonstrated that no, these people are the ones who originally come from that land. But again, that wouldn't even matter. It doesn't even make, nobody ever thinks of a property rights dispute based off whose blood goes back further in this land. It just would never be the case that if you were arguing over, I was cutting down a tree on my neighbor's property or something like that, we would go to the property deeds and the blueprints and the property lines and where no one would go he's got some Native American blood in him, and so his people go back hundreds of years before my people were here. It wouldn't matter if you just stepped foot on the country the first day. It's who owns the property? That's what the question would be.
There are Ashkenazi Jews who are entirely European in their DNA. That's why you're not allowed to have a DNA test in Israel, because it will reveal that virtually none of them are Semitic, virtually none of them have any ancestral connection to the land. I was viciously assaulted by a manager in the BBC who had recently converted to Judaism. It's fine, I love all religions, but you can't say I've now converted to Judaism And therefore, I have a right to go to the land of Palestine and live in the house of someone whose ancestors have been living in it for thousands of years.
These people came on ships holding up signs about World War II saying, please, we're refugees, let us into your home. And the Palestinians opened their doors to them. This is the story of Muhammad Hadid and Bella Hadid. Yeah, the model, Gigi Hadid. He was an infant. His mother had just given birth. They allowed these refugees, these Polish refugees, to live in their homes as refugees because they wanted to help them following a world war. And then one day, they came back to their houses and the doors were locked. They came home, the doors were locked, and guns were being held, and they were told, leave right now, or some soldiers are going to come murder you.
And there is this incredibly bizarre thing, and I'll let you can have the last comment on this, Rob, but I'll notice that, like, it's just something I've noticed over the last couple years as I've been a figure in these, debates, where there is this weird, because like people like Douglas Murray was like, oh, Dave, claims some Jewish heritage, and then there'll be arguments over whether you're really Jewish or not. And then somebody else, I get the comments like this all the time, but they'll say things like, oh, Dave's not even a practicing Jew, so he's not a Jew by any real means. What does that even mean? And you're like, oh, okay, so that's the standard now? Now the standard is like, if you're not, it's not the genetic argument anymore. Now it's the religious argument.
Learn how to play ball. That's what the Zionists did, except instead of a baseball team, they went to try to convince the Jews that the Jewish people are a nation, like France and like Spain. We'll get a land, that's Israel, that's our stadium. We'll get baseball bats and balls, we'll create a language. They sat down to create a language because nations need languages. You can convert to Judaism, you can't convert to a blood family. You cannot convert to a race. Judaism is a religion, that's all it is. The religion created the Jewish people. The definition of a Jewish person is somebody who is transformed by receiving the Torah.
But if it's the religious argument, then the majority of Israel identifies as not religious. So then are those people Jews or not Jews or what? And then also, by the way, Rob, if you convert to Judaism, you're eligible for birthright, I believe, right? So wait, so which one is it? Like, what exactly is the claim of Netanyahu and the state of Israel here? It's like, oh, we genetically go all the way back, therefore this is our land. It's like, okay, but that's like, so now it's like a scientific genetic claim. But like, why is it yours? Because you were there a long time ago. It's like, oh, because God promised it to you. Okay, so now it's a religious claim. So now it's like so now you have to say, Rob, that a Jewish kid from Brooklyn has more of a claim to Palestine than an Arab who's born in Palestine, who goes back 600 years.
And to the people who really do believe that God's chosen people rape, murder, destroy, pillage, lie, deceive, blackmail, Jeffrey Epstein, all of our politicians, buy, purchase, threaten, manipulate. Goodness, you may really want to crack open a Bible if you think that those are the signs of God's chosen people. Shoot presidents in broad daylight. Yeah, no. It shouldn't take you a theology course. It should just take a little bit of common sense to tell you that no, that is not what God's chosen people do.
In this area, the Jewish kid from Brooklyn, wait, hold on. But now the Christian kid from Brooklyn who converts to Judaism also has more of a claim than, like, he has a right of return, but the Palestinian in a refugee camp in Gaza or the West Bank doesn't have a right of return. Like, it's all just gets like really weird and bizarre. It's this crazy, incoherent justification for how to view the country and Judaism and the whole thing. I don't know. Last word to you on this.
You know what you are? You're an ancient Israelite.
Ancient Israelite, that's who we are. That's who we are. So if you give me time, if you give me time,
but
how old he said?
No, we don't have.
So many years.
I know. Look at this. This is pages and pages of notes. And I promise we'll give more teaching. But here is my challenge to you.
All right.
I'm hearing some of your traditions It's like the dice of the Bible.
Yes.
Do you want to remain ancient Israelites or you want to be Jews?
What's your thoughts? Please be respectful with your comments. Also, please click the like, click the notification bell, and subscribe to this channel.
Listen, Genesis chapter 11 verse 10 explains the genealogy of Shem. Shem was a black man in Africa. If you repeat this back, Genesis 14 verse 13, Abraham steps on the scene. Being a descendant of Shem, which is a fact, means Abraham too was Abraham, born in the city of a black man, called Nimrod, grandson of Ham. Ham had 4 sons. One was named Canaan. Here, let me do some explaining. Abraham, Isaac was the, Jacob had 12 sons. For real, and these were the children of Israel, according to Genesis chapter 10. These were the children of Israel, according to Genesis chapter 10. These were the children of Israel, according to Genesis chapter 10.